Hello there, it's T-Mac from www.wildfotoutdoors.com, and today I'm going to show you all how I make trap stakes. I got quite a few of them over here. That's one that I made. All it is a piece of rebar and a washer. You know, that's two things you can get pretty simply. I kind of come up with my own way to do things a lot because I have a lot of stuff sitting around that I don't use, and my dad, he doesn't throw anything away, so there's always stuff laying around. I'm a concrete man by trade, so rebar I just have. You need rebar in doing jobs, so I have it, you know, laying around. You always have a few extra pieces, chunks, so long, and so I'm going to show you how I anchor my traps. I'll show you my setup, and I'll show you how I get them made. First thing I do is I cut my rebar on the chop saw. It's not cold today, so I wish it was, but it's pretty hot, so I'm going to try and get this done as quick as possible. Cut your stakes, your rebar, 18, 20, 22, 24 inches, whatever you think you're going to need. If you have soft ground and the stake can be driven a long ways, you might go a little longer. If you got rocky ground, you know, you might not need as long a stake. Just kind of judge it by your ground. And the way I stake them, usually 18 to 20 inch stakes, works perfectly. Next thing you do is you find you a bunch of old washers. Like I said, I got a lot of washers laying around. Thicker, the better. The thin washers that you buy at some of these stores, I wouldn't use those. I actually have used one, and here's what happens. And they bend and tear and rip, and you know, if you're going to use one of these, double it up or something, because you know that metal just ripped and tore and waved. And this one here, it didn't rip, but as you can see, it did not fare well. This is another method that you can use, and that's just a rebar tee. You got to have your welder up really hot to do that, because if not, you can beat the ends right off of there. I've done it. But I'm gonna show you the way that I found works the best. This kind of washer works the best. You know, I don't know exactly what size that is. I just found it, and it's pretty doggone thick, as you can see. A good thick washer is what you want. You got your stake. You're going to put that washer right in there if you can. You're going to put it in there just so there's a little bit sticking up. You're going to weld all the way around that. You know, tack it first on both sides, then weld it all around, or you can just weld it all around. It doesn't matter if it moves too much. This is nothing precise. But ideally, that's what you want. That little setup right there, so your hammer strikes that pin and leaves the weld alone. So that's what I'm going to do. Well, if it rained in the last 20 days, I'd have some water to dip that in, but I don't. Alright, so you really want to get that good on the end. I went ahead and tacked it underneath and welded it real hard to the top. And that's what you want, because this is holding your trap in there. Last year I lost a trap wire, and those things are too expensive just to let some critter run off with and leave. So weld them up good. I have had trouble in the past of things, you know, certain ways I've tried it, like the rebar way. If you just don't get the weld right, you can beat it right off with the hammer. This is the best way I've found. You're putting the hammer strokes right onto this, and this is just kind of holding everything together. So, and I'll tell you why you need that. On my setup, when I'm trapping, this is the other piece that I use. This is square tubing, 2 pieces welded at different angles, so that when you put your stake in there, one goes that way, and one goes the other way. That's how I do that. Just a piece of probably 1 inch square tubing welded at opposite angles. And last year, I would just, oh my gosh, what the size of that mouse. Woo! A big one. I'm gonna set a trap for him. Last year what I did was, this would end up under here. Underneath all that stuff, and that way the animal was pulling against this, which means he was pulling against both stakes. You can buy these, but like I said, I had the material laying around, so I just made them. And you can too if you got stuff laying around. Hope you enjoy this video. Hope you learned something. Got any questions or comment, just do the YouTube thing and comment. You can go check us out on Facebook. We're on Twitter at Wild for the Outdoor, not doors, because that was too long. And www.wildfortheoutdoors.com. Keep checking us out. We're going to be bringing you a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff this year. So just come see us, let us know what you think. And until next time, remember, it's your God-given duty to manage this land. And the only way to do that is through hunting, fishing, and trapping. God bless.